Hey guys, TrueGreen7 here, and some Pokemon are more popular than others, you guys get it. A lot of them are so beloved that people would do some pretty nasty things for these Pokemon, while some Pokemon are so despised that they could drive a few fanatics to try and, do horrible things to the designers responsible for creating them. But there are a few Pokemon that initially made fans gag, but for various reasons, slowly captured the hearts of the community. In this video, I'm going to be discussing these unpopular Pokemon that over time became relatively popular, even if just a tiny bit. There's just no other way to word it in the title, but I'd say only the top 5 Pokemon on this list are actually pretty popular nowadays. The bottom 5, with one exception, aren't as popular, but still gained a large amount of fans over the years and are no longer generally disliked. The list isn't in order of how popular these Pokemon are though, but rather how much the opinion on them has changed. So a Pokemon that went from kinda disliked to liked will be lower on the list than a Pokemon that was hated but now kinda liked. All these Pokemon were somehow unpopular for a year or even a day. That means you won't see Pokemon that people had neutral opinions on but now love, like Ammonite, because it was never really disliked. Now please forgive me for the number 10 entry, cause it's a tie. Number 10. Crickethoon and Stunfisk. I mean, if I were to just not say anything and let the image of these two Pokemon marinate, I think you'd understand why people disliked these Pokemon in the past. Just look at them. Okay, seriously now, I actually really like these two Pokemon, and regardless of what some people say, they're actually well designed, and for the most part, Stunfisk's derpiness is intentional. There's no doubt that they are less disliked than they used to be, and they're not tied for the reason they rose in popularity, because the reasons are entirely different. I just didn't know which one to put in the number 10 spot because the reason they gained popularity was not enough to make them super popular. Crickethoon has gained some praise for its magnificent cry. To some, this made Crickethoon their favorite Pokemon, while others appreciated Crickethoon's clever design, and the cry just boosted their perception of Crickethoon by a smidge. The cry of Stunfisk didn't really contribute to its growing fan base. I don't even know what its cry sounds like. Let me play it for a second, actually. What? What? Okay, that's funny. It changes things. Maybe the cry did do something, but the main reason some people like Stunfisk is its derpy design. Either they understand its origin and essential flatness, or are really amused by this dude's face. I know I am. Sometimes you just shouldn't take things seriously, and you'll be able to find enjoyment from things you used to ridicule. That's today's True Green Pro Tip. Sometimes it's not worth being angry about something, just enjoy it. Have fun, you dummies, you knuckleheads, yo nincompoops. Okay, number 9. Bidoof! This dingus is here for its goofiness alone. In the past, particularly Gen 4, people would rather this Pokemon not exist at all. They would just say the nastiest things right in Bidoof's stupid face. It was atrocious. Nowadays, people take things less seriously and cherish their time making fun of this doofus. It's actually a tradition now. No hard feelings. In fact, we enjoy how dumb this creature looks. I'm perfectly content with Bidoof's existence. It's not high on the list because I have a hunch that people only ironically like it. It's kinda cute, but that's not enough for a bunch of people. It may also be a bit more popular now that Bibarel is considered to be a very useful HM slave, but slavery isn't the most positive thing. Some crazy people may say that it's a bad thing. I don't know, I don't want to get too political though, so we'll move on. Number 8. WiMP. WiMP is one of those Pokemon that was somewhat unpopular for a tiny bit of time, and that's mostly because before Golisopod was revealed, a few people were afraid that this isopod wouldn't evolve. I mean, if you believed in that idea, it was a pretty scary thought. Of course, a good amount of fans expected it to evolve, and a bunch of people even predicted that it would evolve into a beast of a pocket monster. But that doesn't change the fact that for a month or two, WiMP was considered another Luvdisc or Mawile. So, without the Mega Evolution. Oh my god! But Golisopod's image was leaked a month before Sun and Moon's release, and the rest is history. It's not the first Pokemon that became popular because of its evolution, and it won't be the last. I personally enjoy looking at all the WiMP and Guzma comics on the interwebs, and this thing scurries like a champ. Look at this guy. Look at him go. Where are you going, little buddy? Number 7. Alolan Dugtrio. Let's cut to the chase. When this Pokemon was revealed, we were all disappointed, and to some, its clever reference to Pele's hair never mended this empty feeling inside. But there were a good amount of people who, like with the other Pokemon on this list, began memeing the hell out of Alolan Dugtrio. Now that the shock of this Pokemon's silky smooth hair has probably dissolved, people kinda like these hairy hot dogs. They're funny. It's not like Dugtrio was a super serious, well-designed Pokemon to begin with. Let us embrace these well-conditioned brothers. Number 6. Dunsparce. This enigma was all but forgotten for a few years since Gen 2 came out. It's pretty useless, But that's the thing, I'm not allowed to say that anymore because people like it now. It's not that it really offended anybody in the past, it just inconspicuously existed. It took 7 takes to say it inconspicuously. The point is it didn't hurt anybody, but once people started noticing its quirky cute design, they started hyping up a possible evolution in any upcoming generation. Now fans root for this little dude. You see this buddy and you're like, I know you're destined for greatness, so go get him, champ. You know, the guy who designed Dunsparce also designed Rayquaza, Deoxys, and Darkrai. Yeah, it would be pretty cool if he designed the dragon-type evolution that we all want. But while there is a very small chance that they will give Dunsparce an evolved form, the hype for what possibilities Dunsparce holds is pretty fun to indulge in. Number 5. Shuckle. Unlike Dunsparce, this Pokemon's potential has already been unlocked. In the past, primarily when we were all kids, we never fully understood how awesome Shuckle can be. I understand if this Pokemon wasn't your favorite or anything, but now you better know that you don't mess with Shuckle. With those defenses, you couldn't even if you wanted to. I'm not sure if this record was broken, but it's now well known that Shuckle could potentially deal the most damage in a single hit out of any Pokemon under the right circumstances. I don't know how he does it, but this rock shell is as strong as this mega armor, and that's something worth celebrating. I mean, we found the ultimate shield, guys! Just tape a few Shuckles to your city walls and those babies are impenetrable. And number 4. Klefki. So we know how unpopular a Pokemon can become if it's overtly based on an inanimate object. So it was no surprise when Klefki was revealed that there was a lot of backlash. So why did Klefki leave the club often frequented by Garbodor and Vanilluxe? Cause he got some battles to partake in. Klefki's typing, move pool, and abilities have allowed this key to unlock a whole lot of butt whooping. In the winter of 2014, I finally realized how there are a bunch of Pokemon fans who could care less about a Pokemon's design or concept, as long as it's useful in battle. Unfortunately, these same fans hate well-designed Pokemon just for being relatively weak. So I guess a good way to make Garbodor popular is to give it the ability to murder monsters and dragons. That's not a joke, by the way. Number 3. Popplio. 'Twas May 10th, 2016 when we were first introduced to the partner Pokemon of Pokémonster Sun and Moon. Everybody in the club liked Rowlet. A good amount of people were feeling Litten, but I'd say Popplio only got 10% of that love. Followers of the Church of Rowlet and even the Cult of Litten couldn't help but persecute this ridiculous looking ball of fun. It's a funny looking seal, but as time went on, people began to notice the appeal of Popplio's charming personality and beautiful evolution. I gotta admit, I too was hating on this little dude, but slowly and surely I've grown to adore the smile on this lion. This smile has healed all my wounds, but the number 2 entry will open those wounds right up. Cause number 2 is Oneg. In Gen 5, the classic saying was, they're running out of ideas. They even made an ice cream and garbage Pokemon. But in Gen 6, people were shouting in the streets, X-ray, X-ray, read all about it! Now Pokemon are based on keys and swords. The apocalypse is nigh. Accept Arceus as your Lord and Savior. It was an overreaction, admittedly, especially since people realized, hey, mayhaps a sword and shield would be useful in defeating pocket monsters. And it was more than useful. Aegislash was soon worshipped as the strongest Pokemon in the world. It was undefeated and even rated higher than God, alphabetically at least. The potential for Oneg to become a slayer of anything made of flesh has allowed it to ascend to legendary status. It used to be in the same list as Trubbish and Vanillish, but now its family is in the company of gods and kangaroos. But before number 1 is revealed, here are some Pokemon that you probably wanted to see on this list, but didn't get as much of a boost as the ones I talked about. Chandelure was already pretty popular to begin with. It's probably the most popular inanimate object Pokemon, but there are a good amount of people who hate it. Toucanon was a little disappointing to some, but was never straight up unpopular. It's not wise to dislike a Pokemon with that face, and Alolan Exeggutor was the first Alolan Pokemon that any fan has seen. It was a little jarring at first, but once we understood the idea of Alolan variants, everybody was on board with this highly memed dragon tree. Trubbish and Burmy have gained a small cult following, but they are still incredibly unpopular. Number 1. Magikarp. If you didn't expect this Pokemon to make the number 1 spot, you don't deserve to call yourself a Pokemon fan. After all, what other Pokemon has gone from a laughing stock to a complete bouse? Everybody and their dog knows that this koi can murder your family. I'd explain why it's number 1, but we all know why. I don't want to waste my breath. I'm serious, I'm tired. I got a lot more important things to do than explain why Magikarp used to be unpopular and is now super popular. But I'll do it, cause I love you. And because I need this video to be more than 10 minutes. Here it goes! Get ready! So, Magikarp sucks, but Gyarados rocks. So since Magikarp evolves into Gyarados, Magikarp rocks too. There you go. I mean, we've seen this with other Pokemon. Obviously, pocket monsters evolve and become stronger, but this was the first case in the franchise's history where a stupidly useless Pokemon became incredibly strong, and the memory of realizing how not judging a book by its cover is the truest saying of them all has resonated with us. You know what would resonate with me? If you liked and subscribed. That'd be neat. Check the description too and maybe click all the links that you see. Just click them all. I'll see you guys very soon.